Assalamu alaikum. I hope so you're doing fine. I'm Dr. Ali Rabbani, and with the next installment on this lectures on the hip bone, that is the pubic bone attachments. In This is the larger series in the lecture of part of larger series of lecture on lower limb, and up till now we have discussed the hip bone, its overview, site determination, ilium osteology, ilium attachments, pubic bone osteology, and now we are going to discuss its attachments. So we'll start with the muscular attachments, and then we will end up with the ligaments and other fascias that are attached to it. So if you have not followed the lectures for now, do subscribe and do check out the other videos that we have done. This is the video, or this is the picture that is gold standard for me, that is from the Netters Atlas, and all the attachments that we are going to discuss are going to be in this picture, so you can take a screenshot right here for safekeeping and discussing it later on. So this is the posterior view, and the one that we saw earlier was the anterior view. But for now, we are going to move on to this model. This is the 3D4 medical anatomy, Atlas anatomy. So we'll start from here. I'll be starting from the muscles, and then we'll do ligaments and all the other fascias at the end. So there is this. Let's start from above down. In the upper margin, we have this pubic crest, and in the crest, we have two muscles that are attached. These are muscles of the anterior abdominal wall. So behind, there is attachment of the rectus abdominis muscle. This is the muscle that makes the six packs, the muscle on the front of the abdomen. So this is the rectus abdominis. In some books, you may get separate origin points for the medial and lateral heads of the rectus abdominis. So that's that. And just in front of it is an attached origin of pyramidalis muscle. That's as you can see from the picture, a pyramid shaped muscle that is again in the anterior abdominal wall, just in front of the rectus abdominis. Just on the lateral to these two are the muscles of the abdominal wall. The external oblique muscle, it is a transversus abdominis, and internal oblique muscles through conjoint tendon. Conjoint tendon is not clearly shown in this particular picture. I will show you in the this part is missing, the conjoint tendon. I will show you in the ligaments part of the lecture. In front of it, there is attachment of the external oblique muscles, and again it will be shown later on, and it will form the inguinal ligament attachments. So that's that. On the there were three borders of the superior ramus. On only one border, that is the pectinate border, we get this muscle, that is the pectineus muscle, that is going to be inserted into femur and on the back of it, and just beyond it is the attachments of this muscle. This is called the psoas minor muscle, the muscle arising from the upper lumbar vertebra and getting inserted into the hip bone. We will see psoas major later on, as it originates from here and goes all the way down to the lesser tuberosity. So this is psoas minor, as we saw it right here. So this is psoas minor. So these are the three muscles that we have done: the pyramidalis, the rectus abdominis, the transversus through conjoint tendon, and the external oblique muscle. Then we did this pectineus muscle and psoas minor muscle. Now there is a whole group of muscles on the front or outer surface of the body of the pubis. If you see on the upper and innermost angle, between the upper end and the medial end, this is the attachment of the adductor longus muscle. This is a very strong and very big muscle. As you can see, it's a very big muscle, but it is attaching to a very small point, and this is the adductor longus muscle. Okay, just below the adductor longus muscle, with the margin, with the pelvic brim, just follow it right here. So this gives attachment to the gracilis muscle, another muscle of the medial compartment, and here around the obturator foramen there is attachment of obturator externus muscle. So there was adductor longus, obturator externus, gracilis, and between gracilis and obturator externus you get this adductor brevis. And as you can see from the sizes, this is adductor brevis and this is adductor longus, and this is the gracilis one, and this is actually a long muscle going all the way down to tibia. So this is the three muscles, and if you follow the inferior ramus down further, you get this adductor magnus muscle. This is the magnus, the name says the largest of them all. So adductor magnus muscle are arising all the way from the inferior ramus, the pubic part of inferior ramus, the ischium part of the inferior ramus, and the ischial tuberosity too, that we will see in the ischial bone. So that's it from the front. And on the back there is not much to see, but there is this muscle surrounding the whole of the obturator foramen, that is obturatus internus. So obturatus internus is arising from all the three parts. It is arising from the pubic part of the hip bone, it is arising from the ilium part of the hip bone, and majorly from the ischial part of the hip bone. And in front of it you get these attachments. So these are the muscles of the pelvic diaphragm, pubococcygeus muscle and puboanalis muscle. So basically both are part of a larger muscle that is called the levator ani muscle. So that may be the word that you may see in your books. And somewhere right here you may get another set of muscle somewhere here. So that is the muscle that is going to hold your prostate in case of males, the puboprostaticus muscle, and in case of females, the urinary bladder, pubovesical muscle. So another muscle may be right here too. So obturatus internus and levator ani and puboprostaticus. So these are the muscles that are going to be attached on this aspect. And that's it. We are done with all the muscles of the pubic. We are done with all the muscles of the pubic bone, of the hip bone. Now we will move on to the ligaments part of it. So here I am with all the ligaments. So let's follow it. Simplest and easier to follow are the pubic ligaments. The name by pubic ligaments. These are the four ligaments that are present between the pubic bones. Between the pubic bones from front, anterior pubic ligament. Between the pubic ligaments from top, the superior pubic ligament. Between the pubic ligaments from down, the inferior pubic ligament. And from the back, that is the posterior pubic ligament. So these are the four ligaments that are between the pubic ligament, between the pubic bones around in the body part. Next comes the inguinal ligament. So inguinal ligament is attached here. We saw this point before at the attachment of insertion point of external oblique muscle. So between and at origin of the external oblique muscle. So this is the external oblique inguinal ligament. Then there is this tendon. This is called the conjoint tendon. This one, this is called the conjoint tendon, and conjoint tendon is the basically the insertion point, common insertion of the transversus abdominis and internal oblique muscle. So that's that. And let me bring back the inguinal ligament. So, so here is it. So, and then there is a ligament that is just running, a set of ligament that is running on the pectineal line. So this whole line, the set of ligament that is running on the pectineal line, this is called the pectineal ligament or pectinate ligament. So we did three ligaments here: pectinate ligament, inguinal ligament, conjoint tendon, that is the insertion point of the internal oblique and transversus abdominis, and this horizontal set of fibers running from the inguinal ligament in the front to the pectinate ligament here. And this set of ligaments is called lacunar ligament. This lacunar ligament will come in very handy when you are talking about inguinal canal and femoral canal especially. So I will discuss them again there. So this is the lacunar ligament. So these are the ligaments here. And on the inside I talked about puboprostatic muscle, but in most of the cases it's not the muscle, it's the ligament that's there. So this is the ligament that is attached just above the levator ani, the puboprostatic part, its medial part, its lateral part. So this is the puboprostaticus. It is present in males, and in females it is replaced by pubovesicalis muscle, because obviously females don't have ligaments. Sorry, not ligaments. People do not have prostate gland. So that's it. We talked about the pelvic ligaments, the anterior, posterior, superior, inferior. We talked about this inguinal ligament, the conjoint tendon, the pectinate ligament, the lacunar ligament, and then the puboprostatic ligament or pubovesical ligament in females and puboprostatic ligament in males. and more or less, if we can moreover, if we can add to it, that will be the obturator membrane. So you can add it to it. By the way, that can be an attachment, that can be considered an attachment for all the three muscles. So this is the obturator membrane. It is attached. As you can see, it leaves a little opening on the top here. That is the obturator foramen, and the groove of the bone here, it's called obturator groove. That's it. We are done with the attachments of the pelvic bone. And from the muscle perspectives, you can see this picture from the back on the Natus atlas, or this picture from the front view. These are showing all the muscles that we did. So that brings us to end of this pubic bone and its osteology and its attachment. And if you have any questions, suggestion, or feedback, please mention in the comments below, and do explore our channels and our website. If and do follow us for our next lecture, and that is going to be on ischium and acetabulum. We'll do it osteology, and then we will do their um, attachments. That will bring us to end of the hip bone lecture series. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.